In a faraway galaxy called Zillaria, there was a beautiful planet named Luminara. Luminara was known for its sparkling rivers and tall, colorful trees. The sky shone in many colors, changing from bright blue in the day to a deep purple at night. But Luminara was not just a special place because of its scenery. It was also the home of the Galactic Dragon Queen, named Querella. Querella was not like ordinary dragons. She was grand and majestic, with shimmering scales that reflected the light of the stars. Her wings were enormous and could create strong winds when she flew. But what made Querella truly special was her heart. She had a soft spot for the alien hatchlings, tiny creatures that came from eggs scattered around the galaxy. As the guardian of these hatchlings, Querella watched over them with great care. One sunny morning, Querella was soaring high above Luminara when she spotted something unusual on the nearby planet, Velthar. It was wrapped in dark clouds, and Querella sensed trouble. She landed gracefully near the edge of a cliff and folded her wings. I must investigate, she thought, her heart beating with concern. In the shadows of Velthar, a wicked sorcerer named Drax was planning to capture all the alien hatchlings. Drax had dark powers and sought to use the innocent creatures for his evil schemes. With the hatchlings, I can rule the galaxy. He cackled, rubbing his hands together. Meanwhile, back on Luminara, 3 little hatchlings named Zephyr, Tilly, and Orin were playing in a sunny meadow. Their colors were bright and cheerful, reflecting their playful spirits. They looked up when they saw Querella swooping down toward them. "Queen Querella!" they shouted with joy. Querella landed softly and smiled at the little ones. "My dear hatchlings, I have news. We need to be careful. Drax is plotting something evil, and he may come after you." The hatchlings looked frightened, but Zephyr, the bravest among them, spoke up. "We won't let him take us. We can help you stop Drax." Querella's wings fluttered excitedly. She admired their courage. "All right, we will need to gather all the hatchlings and come up with a plan." The hatchlings nodded eagerly. Querella led them back to the heart of Luminara, where a grand tree stood. It was the gathering tree, and all the hatchlings from Luminara would come there. Querella called out, and soon the other hatchlings arrived, chirping and squeaking, full of curiosity. "Listen, everyone," Querella announced. "Drax is after you for his evil plans. We must stay together and be smart. If we trust each other, we can find a way to keep you safe." The hatchlings huddled together, whispering ideas. Tilly suggested, "What if we create a great distraction? While Drax is busy, we can hide." Orin, who loved to explore, exclaimed, "I know a secret cave. It's hidden behind a waterfall. We can go there." Querella felt proud of their teamwork. A distraction and a safe place sound wonderful. "Let's do this together." As dusk fell on Luminara, the hatchlings worked hard. Zephyr and Tilly gathered flowers and began to create a bright display, while Orin led the way to the hidden cave. Querella used her magic to enchant the area around the gathering tree. With her powerful light, she made it look like it was glowing, drawing Drax's attention away. Just as they finished, they heard Drax's menacing laughter echoing in the distance. "Where are those hatchlings hiding?" he snarled. The hatchlings jumped into action. Zephyr and Tilly placed the flowers around the gathering tree to create an enchanting scene. Orin dashed ahead to the cave, ready to guide everyone to safety. Querella stayed by the tree, her heart racing but filled with hope. With a roar and a swirl of wind, Drax appeared, dark shadows swirling around him. "You think you can hide from me? No one can escape my grasp," he thundered. Querella stepped forward, her scales glimmering. "You will not take them, Drax. The hatchlings are not your toys. They are beings of light and wonder." Drax sneered. "You think you can protect them? You are too late." With a wave of his hand, he sent out a dark spell, but Querella raised her wings, creating a bright shield that pushed the shadows away. The hatchlings watched in awe. They were scared, but they knew Querella was strong. They quickly escaped to the cave, led by Orin, who made sure everyone followed. Drax tried again, sending waves of darkness toward Querella, but she danced gracefully through the air. With each move, she created bursts of light, breaking through the shadows. The hatchlings in the cave began to chant, their tiny voices joining together in a melody that sparkled like stars. Feeling the power of their song, Querella drew strength from their joy and hope. She summoned a sparkling beam of light, directed straight at Drax. It struck him, breaking his focus and sending him tumbling backward. Drax roared in anger, but as light filled the space, he knew he was losing power. With determination, Querella soared higher, harnessing the strength of the hatchling's song. She enveloped Drax in a shield of light, powerful enough to bind him. "You will not harm any hatchling ever again," she declared. With a final twist of her tail, she sent Drax spiraling away, far into the darkness beyond the stars. The hatchlings cheered, their voices ringing out in joy. Querella landed softly near the cave, where the little ones rushed to embrace her. "You did it, Queen Querella!" Zephyr shouted, jumping with excitement. "Thanks to all of you," Querella replied, her heart swelling with love for the brave hatchlings. "Together, we are strong." From that day on, Querella kept a watchful eye over the hatchlings of Luminara, a shining beacon of hope and courage. And whenever trouble was near, they would sing their beautiful melody, knowing that as long as they had each other, they could face anything that came their way. In the galaxy of Zillaria, hope blossomed brightly, and the spirit of friendship and bravery united all the hatchlings under the protective wings of the Galactic Dragon Queen. The Galactic Dragon Queen, Xylia, shimmered emerald green under the twin suns of Xylos. Her scales, the color of 1,000 nebulae, caught the light as she surveyed her vast, rocky nest. Inside, nestled amongst piles of shimmering, moonstone-like eggs, were the hatchlings, a clutch of 23 Zidonian alien infants. Xylia, despite her fearsome appearance, was their devoted guardian. Xylos was a harsh planet, a barren landscape of crimson dust and jagged peaks. Yet, within Xylia's protective cave, a surprisingly verdant oasis thrived, nurtured by her powerful magic. The Zidonians, a peaceful race from the Andromeda galaxy, had entrusted her with their precious young. Their own planet faced a devastating solar flare, and Xylia, renowned throughout the galaxy for her kindness and power, was their only hope. One of the hatchlings, a small, purple creature named Pip, stirred in his egg. He was the first to hatch, a curious and adventurous little Zidonian. Pip's siblings remained slumbering, their tiny forms curled within their protective shells. Pip peeked out, his large, black eyes blinking in the dim light. He saw Xylia, her massive form looming over him, a reassuring presence despite her size. "Greetings, little one," Xylia rumbled, her voice like distant thunder, but gentle as a summer breeze. Her voice echoed through the cave. Pip chirped, a tiny, high-pitched sound that filled the cavern with surprising clarity. Xylia smiled, a slow, benevolent spread of her powerful jaws. News of the Zidonian hatchlings spread through the galaxy. Lord Forlog, a cruel space pirate known for his insatiable greed, heard the whispers. He coveted the Zidonians' advanced technology, rumored to be hidden within their genetic code. Forlog knew that obtaining the hatchlings would give him unparalleled power. He devised a plan to steal them. Meanwhile, in the bustling spaceport of Kepler 186f, a young Zidonian scientist named Illyra anxiously awaited news from Xylos. Illyra was Pip's mother, and the loss of her planet weighed heavily upon her. She hoped for the day she could reunite with her offspring. She had faith in Xylia, but she worried constantly. Forlog launched his attack. His fleet of heavily armed spaceships emerged from hyperspace, cloaked in shadows. They descended upon Xylos, their menacing forms blotting out the twin suns. Xylia, sensing the impending danger, roared a warning, her voice echoing across the planet. She summoned her full power, unleashing a torrent of fire and energy. Forlog's ships retaliated with laser fire, but Xylia's scales deflected the blasts. The battle raged, a cataclysmic clash between immense power and ruthless ambition. The crimson dust of Xylos swirled in the chaotic fight. Illyra, monitoring the battle from Kepler 186f, watched with bated breath. The images were terrifying, Xylia, a magnificent warrior, holding back the onslaught. Her heart ached for her son, Pip, and the other hatchlings. As the battle intensified, one of Forlog's ships managed to break through Xylia's defenses. It landed near her nest. Forlog's henchmen, grotesque creatures with sharp claws and glowing eyes, emerging to snatch the eggs. Xylia, exhausted but determined, fought with renewed vigor. She unleashed her most powerful attack, a wave of pure energy that engulfed Forlog's forces, scattering them and destroying their ship. Forlog himself fled, his ambition thwarted, his dreams of galactic conquest reduced to ashes. The battle left Xylos scarred, but the hatchlings were safe. Illyra's relief was immense. She immediately organized a rescue mission, traveling to Xylos to take the hatchlings to a new, safe home. As Illyra carefully transported her children into her spacecraft, Pip chirped happily, his eyes wide with wonder. He nuzzled against his mother, a small, purple creature full of life, and finally safe. Xylia watched them go, a sense of satisfaction washing over her. She had protected the innocent, and that was a reward greater than any treasure. She returned to her nest, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy might throw her way. The Galactic Dragon Queen remained vigilant, the guardian of countless lives, a beacon of hope in the vastness of space. The twin suns of Xylos set, casting long shadows across the barren landscape, but within Xylia's protective cave, life continued, safe and sound. The adventure was over, for now. But the galaxy, and its wonders and dangers, remained. In a faraway galaxy, there was a planet named Draconis. This planet was unlike any other in the universe. It was covered in sparkling blue rivers, towering mountains that gleamed like silver, and lush forests filled with colorful trees. But what made Draconis truly special was its ruler, the Galactic Dragon Queen, named Illyra. Illyra was no ordinary queen. She was a majestic dragon with scales that shimmered in a rainbow of colors. Her wings were large and powerful, allowing her to soar across the skies. With deep, wise eyes, she could see into the hearts of her people. The creatures of Draconis loved her dearly, for she protected them and taught them to live in harmony with nature. One peaceful morning, Illyra stood on the highest peak of Mount Tyra, gazing at the bright sun rising over her beautiful kingdom. Her mind was filled with thoughts of her subjects, the dragonlings, and their needs. As she stretched her wings to take flight, a shadow fell over her. It was Finn, a young dragonling with bright green scales and big dreams. "Your Majesty!" Finn cried, landing beside her. "I had a dream last night. I saw a strange cold star in the sky. It was dark and menacing, and I think it means trouble." Illyra turned her attention to the young dragon. "A cold star, you say? Tell me more about your dream." Finn described the star's cold light that seemed to freeze everything it touched. "I think it's coming here, to Draconis," he finished with a worried expression. Illyra thought for a moment. "I will gather the Council of Dragons. We must take this warning seriously. If Finn's dream is true, we need to prepare." They flew down from Mount Tyra together, arriving at the gathering place, where all the wise dragons of Draconis had come together. Each dragon had a unique color and talent. There was Kira, who could heal with her warm, glowing light, Rex, who had the strength of 100 dragons, and Zara, a dragon with wings like the night sky, who could create illusions. Illyra stood tall before the council. "My dear council, young Finn has warned us of a cold star that comes to our land. We must defend our home and our people. Rex slammed his claw on the ground. We will battle whatever comes. Our strength is unmatched. But Zara raised her voice. It may not be a battle we need. What if we can reason with this star? We could find out why it has come to us. Illyra nodded. That is wise, Zara. We need to understand the cold star before we act. With the Council's agreement, Illyra decided to send a small team to investigate. Finn, Kira, and Zara volunteered to accompany her. They set off into the sky, flying toward the dark star that hung ominously in the distance. As they approached, the star grew larger and brighter, casting a chilly glow over everything. When they drew near, they were met by a strange sight. The star was not just a star, it was a swirling mass of ice and energy, and at its center floated a figure draped in shimmering blue robes. "Greetings, dragons of Draconis," the figure said, its voice echoing like the sound of breaking ice. "I am Astra, the celestial guardian. I have come to warn you of an impending frost that will sweep through your land." Illyra landed gracefully before Astra. "What cause do you have to bring such frost upon us?" she asked, keeping her voice calm. Astra explained how a fierce storm from another galaxy threatened to disrupt the balance of warmth in the universe. "If I do not spread my frost, the storms will destroy countless worlds." "I mean no harm to Draconis," Astra continued. "But it is the only way to maintain harmony." Kira stepped forward, her heart heavy with sympathy. "But what of our home? The creatures, the trees, the rivers? They will not survive a frost." "I will not allow your beautiful planet to be destroyed," Astra said, her voice softening. "But I need your help. Together, we can find a way to balance the frost with warmth from your lands." Illyra's wisdom shone brightly as she spoke. "If we work together, we can create a shield of warmth that can protect our home while allowing your frost to flow." The Council of Dragons listened intently. They knew their unity was key. Rex used his strength to gather stones that glowed with heat from deep within the mountains, while Kira summoned her healing light to enhance the warmth. Finn looked up to Illyra, inspired by her calm leadership, and suggested adding energy from their vibrant forests. Zara, with her talent for illusions, created a magnificent visual of what they wanted to achieve. Together, they built a grand shield that surrounded Draconis, blending the warmth of their home with the icy powers of Astra. As the cold winds began to blow, Astra brought forth her frost, but it met the warmth of Draconis and transformed. Instead of a harsh winter, a beautiful sparkling snow fell over the land, glimmering like diamonds in the sunlight. Astra smiled, and her figure began to dissolve into the starry sky. "You have accomplished what I could not do alone. Thank you, brave dragons of Draconis. You have shown that teamwork can create a stunning balance. I will always protect this planet." When the frost settled, Draconis was more beautiful than ever. The dragons danced in the snow, their colors shining against the white backdrop. They celebrated the unity that had formed between them and Astra, the celestial guardian. Illyra watched her people with pride. She knew that together they could conquer any challenge. The Galactic Dragon Queen and her noble council learned that wisdom lay not only in strength but also in compassion and teamwork. From that day on, the legends of Illyra and Astra spread across the galaxies, reminding everyone that light and dark could come together to create something truly magical. And in the heart of it all, Draconis flourished, a realm of warmth and wonder, forever watched over by its kind-hearted queen. The Galactic Dragon Queen, Lyra, ruled the constellation Draco with a claw of iron and a heart of stardust. Her scales shimmered with 1,000 nebulae, and her roar echoed across galaxies. Lyra wasn't just any dragon, she was ancient, wise, and fiercely protective of her people, the Draconians. They were a peaceful race, known for their intricate star charts and their ability to communicate with celestial bodies. One day, a distress signal crackled across the cosmos. It came from the planet Xylos, a vibrant world known for its crystal forests and singing rivers. The Xyloceans, a playful species resembling fluffy, bipedal rabbits, were under attack. A monstrous space kraken, its tentacles dripping venom, was ravaging their cities. Lyra summoned her council. There was Xarthus, the wise old draconian astronomer, his beard as long as a comet's tail, Kira, the swift and courageous draconian knight, whose armor gleamed like a supernova, and Fizzle, a young draconian apprentice, brimming with nervous energy and enthusiasm. The Xyloceans need our help, Lyra declared, her voice booming like a collapsing star. Xarthus, chart a course. Kira, prepare the troops. Fizzle, ensure our communication arrays are ready. Xarthus, his eyes twinkling with celestial knowledge, quickly plotted a course through the swirling nebulae and asteroid fields. Kira marshaled the Draconian army, their dragon-shaped spaceships forming a majestic fleet. Fizzle, despite his nerves, flawlessly checked the communication systems, ensuring a clear line to Xylos. Their journey was long and fraught with peril. They navigated treacherous wormholes, dodged rogue asteroids, and even outsmarted a mischievous band of space pirates who mistook their fleet for a valuable cargo ship. Fizzle, initially overwhelmed by the scale of the mission, quickly proved himself a valuable asset, his quick thinking and innovative solutions often saving the day. Finally, they arrived at Xylos. The planet was in ruins. Crystal forests lay shattered, rivers ran black with venom, and the air hung heavy with fear. The Xyloceans, huddled in the remaining intact cities, looked up in desperation as the mighty fleet of draconian ships arrived. The space kraken, a behemoth of tentacles and razor-sharp teeth, emerged from the shadows. Its size dwarfed even Lyra's majestic form. Its venom dripped, leaving trails of shimmering destruction. The battle began. Kira led the charge, her ship slicing through the kraken's tentacles with laser precision. The Draconian army, a whirlwind of coordinated attacks, bombarded the creature with energy blasts. The kraken retaliated, its tentacles lashing out, destroying several Draconian ships. The battle raged across the Xylocean skies, a breathtaking display of courage and firepower. Lyra, however, remained poised. She knew brute force alone wouldn't be enough. Using her innate connection to the cosmos, she began to channel the energy of a nearby supernova. The energy surged through her, transforming her scales into blinding, incandescent light. With a mighty roar, Lyra launched herself at the kraken. Her energy-infused breath, a torrent of pure celestial fire, incinerated the creature's tentacles one by one. The kraken roared in pain, its attacks weakening with each passing moment. Fizzle, observing from the command ship, realized Lyra was straining. He quickly devised a plan. Using the communication array, he sent a frequency that matched the kraken's venom, disrupting its molecular structure. This unexpected attack weakened the beast further. Finally, with a combined assault of draconian firepower and Lyra's celestial energy, the kraken succumbed, collapsing into a pile of inert tentacles and dissolving venom. The Xyloceans cheered, their voices echoing across the ravaged planet. Lyra, exhausted but triumphant, landed gracefully on the ground. The Xyloceans, their gratitude boundless, presented Lyra with a magnificent crystal crown, crafted from the most exquisite crystals on Xylos. It was a symbol of their eternal thanks and recognition of the Galactic Dragon Queen's bravery and wisdom. Lyra accepted the crown, knowing her duty was not yet finished. The galaxy was vast, and the need for protection was endless. But for now, she would rest, content in the knowledge that she had saved the world and shown the galaxy the true meaning of courage. The journey home was filled with joyful celebrations as they traveled through the stars, their victory song echoing through the cosmos. The story of the Galactic Dragon Queen and the brave Draconians became a legendary tale told and retold throughout the galaxy for generations to come.